Hello, this is my album cover that I created for DVB102, Image Design and Production. So to begin the project, I started researching some of my favourite album covers, and I landed on Pink Moon by Nick Drake. I loved the sound of this album, very folky and 70s. And once I decided on the album cover, I wanted to look into other covers that drew me towards them and their composition and characteristics that stuck out to me a lot. I then moved on to looking at album covers that were made around the same time as the Nick Drake one to kind of recognize patterns and try and gain a perspective on what was the art style at the time. This then led me to decide to use photography as the base of the image production. I used black and white film, and I decided to go out into nature and capture some of the imagery. I was specifically interested in kind of dead trees to use as the base image for the collage that I wanted to create in the end. I then developed this film myself using chemicals, and once this was developed, I then dried and scanned it into my computer to bring into Photoshop. And once I brought these into Photoshop, I also decided to use some different collage elements. So I began painting with ink and brush to kind of create some natural and organic shapes to layer in the final collage. I then also played with the typeface. I played with hand painting the typeface myself. I ended up deciding that I didn't like this, so I changed it. I also decided to do some leaf printing with ink, and I really liked how this turned out. I found it created some great texture, and I ended up using this in my final design as the moon. So once I brought these all into Photoshop, I was happy with how I could play with things in a digital and in a physical manner. I decided to layer and play around with the opacity, and I ended up with some images that I really liked. I went with the third mock-up, which were these ones. Thank you.